folks, and welcome to the Outdoors radio show, The Ben Show. That show, where we share the other parts of life with you in the outdoors, where you never know what's coming around the bend. I am your host, Rebecca Warner, a.k.a. Beck. As always, we love hearing from all of you. Comment, stories, ideas. Get a hold of us anytime. Call or text 305-900-BEND. That is 305-900-2363. Or drop an email to bendradioshow@gmail.com. My producer, sound engineer, and co-host, Jeff Tigger Earhart. He is here with us as always. However, he is busy working the phone line. So I'm going to get us rolling. First off, happy Father's Day weekend, everyone. Honestly, I often think of June as it is National Outdoors Month, that it's almost like a whole month of celebrating fathers, uncles, grandpas, friends, anyone, honestly, that's taken the time to show all of us the wonders of the outdoors. And for that, as you cherish loved ones still amongst us, or you're thinking of those that have passed, cherish those memories and continue to keep making new ones. Now, this spring, I can still say that as we are just a few days away from it officially being summer, we have had quite a few interesting guests in case you've missed. First off, famous Cowboy Chef Kent Rollins, who has just come out with a terrific new book every kitchen and cabin needs, Comfort Food The Cowboy Way. Next, we had fishing expert and 25-year veteran professional angler Johnnie Candle join our crew. And lastly, most recently, up-and-coming taxidermist Jake Faehnrich, owner of JB's Wildlife Designs. Well, we are always asking for your thoughts, comments, and when one asks, one receives. We've heard you loud and clear, and later in the show, Tigger's going into action, and he's getting these guys on the phone to answer your questions. First off, you need to put this phone number in your phone right now, 305-900-2363. Again, that's 305-900-2363, as you will be needing it in just a few minutes. Have your name, phone number, and address available. Okay, ready. Here we go. We have got something super exciting for y'all this week to spotlight. Who doesn't love a giveaway or a reason to road trip, maybe somewhere you've never been? Well, especially if you are a rodeo fan and a country music fan, you will love this. We have teamed up with the historic Mandan Rodeo Days, considered one of the oldest rodeos in the country, to give away 2 pairs. Yep, you heard me right. 2 pairs of free tickets to the kickoff concert with true American cowboy, former saddle bronc rider, Chancey Williams. This will be an epic party in the dirt, literally. Chancey Williams will be center stage down in the arena and be joined with the group Sutherland and Zach Thomas on Friday, June 30th in Mandan, North Dakota at the brand new Dale Paulke Rodeo Arena at the Dakota Community Bank and Trust Rodeo Grounds to kick off the 144th Mandan Rodeo Days. It is a world-class venue. Let me tell you that we are so excited to have added to the rodeo scene. How fun is that? Ever thought of road tripping to or through the Dakotas? Well, this Chancey Williams concert kicks off then the next 3 nights of top-notch PRCA rodeo action. So here we go. Would you love to win a pair of tickets to Chancey Williams? Call or text right now, 305-900-2363, and say, I love the Ben Show, or something like that. Then be sure to leave, this is the most important if calling or texting, your full name, a phone number, and address so that we can get in touch with the winner. If you are hearing this now while driving live on the radio or later as a podcast, all entries are accepted this week. So again, call, text 305-900-2363 with your contact info saying, I love the Ben Show. We will announce the winner on next week's show. Heck yeah! Chancey Williams concert at the 144th Annual Mandan Rodeo Days in North Dakota. Can't wait to hear from all of you. Our top news story takes us to the country Colombia. This was the biggest story last weekend, one that touched all heartstrings. 4 children were found last weekend alive in a jungle in Colombia. The siblings had been missing for 40 days following a plane crash that took the life of their mother and the pilots. The children were ages 13, 9, 4, and only 11 months. They were able to stay alive thanks to the 13-year-old's knowledge of survivor skills. Small footprints were discovered at the crash site, leading search teams to believe the children were still alive in the rainforest, which is home to jaguars, snakes, and other predators. The knowledge of the fruits and jungle survival skills is believed to have kept the siblings alive. Quite an amazing story if there ever was one. Now, heading back to the United States, Florida. Officials are warning people not to walk dogs near bodies of water, especially as it is alligator mating season. Recently, a Florida man saved his dog from an alligator attack. The man was walking the dog along a riverbank when an alligator came out of the water and snatched it. The man then jumped on top of the alligator and freed his dog. This event spurred the Florida wildlife officials again to remind all walking near bodies of water to be on alert and definitely avoid if with pets. Lastly, I have an FBI warning. These are things I am not a fan of reporting on. However, it is vital that we are all aware and up to date on latest technology, especially when it could be a potential threat. The FBI is warning people to be careful when posting selfies online. Scammers and hackers are stealing the photos and then using artificial intelligence, AI, and deep fake technology to extort people. This is bad stuff, I'm telling you. The scam artists are placing people's faces on other people's naked bodies, in which they then threaten to send the pictures or videos to the victim's friends, family, and co-workers. The FBI says the scammers ask for money to not send the fake X-rated material. This is a topic to discuss with your family, as our youth are becoming younger and younger and having full access to various social media. One tip that I can offer at this point is that before sharing photos on social media like Facebook or Instagram, Snapchat, BeReal, etc., just to name a few, to take the time now to check your privacy settings, that you are only sharing information with people you want to be, and to keep a close eye on your social media friends lists, that there have not been ghost accounts, as they're called, created mirroring someone else and which was added to your crew when they should not have been. All right, everyone, that's all I've got for now. When we come back, Tigger's tackling your questions from the past few weeks. And of course, I've got more outdoor news, foodie fun, and let's be real, you never know what's coming around the bend. Don't go anywhere.
You asked for it, you got it. Watch the Cowboy Channel anytime, anywhere with the Cowboy Channel Plus. Live stream the Cowboy Channel or watch your favorite PRCA rodeos on demand. Classic PRCA rodeos added weekly. Get the Cowboy Channel Plus for only $9.99 a month or save 25% by signing up for a full year. Visit cowboychannelplus.com to sign up and start streaming today.
Ride 'em, cowboy.
The 144th Mandan Rodeo, presented by Dakota Community Bank and Trust, is back this summer at the brand new Dale Polkey Arena. Bring the whole family out to see some of the best riders in pro rodeo, July 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Ticket packages are on sale now at mandanrodeo.com, and they're going fast. Don't miss your chance to secure the best seats in the first Mandan Rodeo at the new arena. See y'all there. It has been quite a run on the Bend Radio Show. Now, here's an interesting question for y'all. Several listeners reached out and wanted to have more Western history and Western lifestyle on the show from time to time. So what do you think? What are your thoughts? Give us your input. Or are there topics that you want Beck to cover? What are your favorites? We want to hear from you. Our listeners are from all corners of the country, actually all corners of the globe for that matter. So weigh in and let us know. BendRadioShow@gmail.com or call and text us at 305-900-2363. Welcome back to the Bend Radio Show. You can reach us by calling or texting 305-900-2363. The email is bendradioshow@gmail.com. Now, many of you have reached out with a number of questions for our guests over the past few weeks, and we're more than happy to try to get those answers. First up is Cowboy Cook Kent Rollins. We have had him on our show several of times and love listening and visiting with Kent and his wife Shannon. Now, Kent, this one comes from several of our listeners asking about quick, easy recipes, some all-weather recipes, something that you can grab and go and doesn't take a lot of plates and silverware. Let's just start there.
I always admired my mother. She made a homemade chicken noodle soup, but I never thought about making no noodles. So we put a recipe in here that she had used so many years ago, and we changed a little, but it's something that's so easy, and making an egg noodle is just as easy as it can be, So I really lean back to that, but also, there's a sort of like a homemade hamburger helper in here, or a beef stroganoff, something that you can put together. You can put that thing in a crock pot and just keep it warm. Every time you got to go check a heifer and come back, you can get you a bowl full, So I was always looking for something that was easy, that I could start and then keep it warm, because you never knew when you was going to get to eat or when you was going to get to pull a calf.
And I always look at it kind of like feeding a feedlot steer about gut health, right? I mean, we've got to have the nutrition in there too, but sometimes you need to have some fill, aka throw some prairie hay out there. You got to have some fill just to keep those calves going. And I kind of compare us a lot of times. That's what we need to have.
Yeah, because for a long time, I always tried to keep something like that going, but it was very easy to throw something in a crock pot, at that time of year. And always liked something that I thought was going to warm me up quick. And probably one of my favorites was a recipe that was inspired by a dear friend of mine, Justin Wilson. And that's just our Cowboy Cajun gumbo, because the longer that stuff sits there and simmer, the better it gets all day, So you get your big pot of that, you can either put it in a coffee cup or you can eat it out of a bowl, but you can eat it on the way to the pan.
And my last question is this, and people ask you this all the time, and I'm going to ask you too. And Kent, by golly, we've been friends here for quite a while, and we've been bringing you on our shows. What's your favorite stuff to cook? I mean, give me your favorite entree. It better be beef, by golly. and then what's your favorite dessert? I mean, if you had to say, you know what, this is what Shannon and I go to. This is one that I personally absolutely love. What is it?
Well, if I had to think of something that I thought, this could be my last meal that I was ever going to get, and that would just be a filet. I like to smoke them just a little to give them a little flavor and let them warm up, and then just finish them off on a hot fire till where he just barely does beller, because he done died once. I ain't gonna kill him twice.
Amen.
But and after that, I'm really fond of blackberry cobbler, which is in the book, and just homemade ice cream. If it just reminds me of home and summertime. No matter what time of year I eat it, even though it's something that's cold, it just always warms my heart on the inside.
You can get more information by following Kent on Facebook and on YouTube. Lots of updates there. You can get his new cookbooks, gear, and more at KentRollins.com. And his latest cookbook to add to the collection, Comfort Food The Cowboy Way, is available in hardcover, and he will sign each and every one of them. Now, one of our newest team members is Jake Faehnrich with JB's Wildlife Designs. After introducing Jake to all of you, this question comes in from South Dakota. What advice would you give me? In fact, here it is in June. I know we've got to put our deer tags in pretty darn quick.
Yep.
So if I'm drawn and I get lucky and I want to talk to you, is it that we should get lined up with you first before we go on the hunt? What do you like to be able to make your process more efficient?
So I always love when people get a hold of me beforehand, because I can help guide them through something. I'm always open to a phone call or to go help if I need to, but some people are, out of state, all that, but I can help people, send them every bit of advice I can before they go. So that way, if they do get something or whatever, they're not sitting there with no service and they're like, oh God, what do I do?
Right.
And then mess something up. Because then that's more work for everybody. I can help. I can send you diagrams. I can walk you through it. I can do anything over the phone, whatever works. Once you get them cold. That's my biggest thing. If you can't get them cold, you risk the hair going bad, slipping, all that stuff. That's usually the biggest thing. Do what you can, and then I can worry about the rest. But if not, I can always help over the phone or whatever.
We have heard this time and time again from our professionals. Before you head out and you start processing your process, right? Know what you're getting into. Call your taxidermist, your professionals, before you head out into the field. They will guide you through the process and answer those questions. Lastly, Johnnie Candle, professional angler, guide, speaker, trainer, and entertainer, I'm going to say. Johnny, Beck, and I were out fly fishing last weekend, and I've been doing it for many, 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 many years. She's getting into it, loving it, and I was helping her by showing her this is how I will kind of cradle the rod in my arms when I replace a fly, and how to do this and how to do that so that you don't get a hook in the finger, that little fly in your finger somewhere, and bam, just like that, hook in the finger. Not too serious, thankfully. So what are some of your biggest horror stories? Hooks, lures, what is it?
Like you said, lures in the fingers, legs, never anything with a hook that was freakishly scary. But the scariest moment ever was a bee sting. Guide client got stung by a bee, no idea that they were allergic.
Oh,
they
no.
They didn't know. I obviously didn't know. Smacks his leg. The bee falls on the floor, and he goes, "Ow, that kind of stung a little." And I'm like, "Oh, well, are you all right? Can I do anything for you?" "No, I'm fine. I'm fine." And it wasn't 5 minutes later, and he's thud flat, not moving on the floor. I breathing, but barely, very light. I called 911. I told them where I was on the lake, got to the closest boat ramp. I drove through every no-wake zone and broke every navigation law there was. And they were on the shore when we got there, and thank goodness they were. And the good old EpiPen saved the day. But, you know, that was the most scared I've ever been in a boat. I take it to heart. Grew up on the Great Lakes. I have a United States Coast Guard captain's license, which isn't all that common guiding inland in the Dakotas, Minnesota, Wisconsin, wherever. But they drill it into you when you are learning the stuff for that license, that the license has nothing to do with being a fishing guide or a tour boat guide or anything like that. It has everything to do with understanding that when you have a paying customer in your boat, you're responsible for their health and well-being and ultimately their life. And dude, I was scared blankless to keep it clean that I was going to lose a client that day. I mean, I can't even explain the feeling. And thank God the story turned out well. The client has turned into a great friend over time. And I'm glad it worked out, but that had to be the scariest moment I've ever had in a boat.
You can follow Johnny on Facebook at Johnnie Candle, professional angler. His website, johnniecandle.com. Look for updates and tips coming in from Johnny here in the near future to help make your fishing more enjoyable and successful. Well, that's what I've got for y'all for now. More than happy to help Beck and all of you out by trying to get those questions answered. 305-900-2363. Call or text or email bendradioshow@gmail.com. Now, that's going to do it for me. Beck will be back in just a few to wrap this episode for y'all.
Watch RFD TV anytime, anywhere on all your connected devices with RFD TV Now. Simply go to watchrfdtv.com and sign up for just $9.99 a month, or save more and pay just $89.99 for the year. You can begin streaming RFD TV live right away and have access to your favorite shows 24/7 on demand. Go to watchrfdtv.com, sign up, and start streaming today.
This is Beck. First, I appreciate all of you for listening and making The Bend part of your week. Many of you have asked, how do I catch past episodes? The answer is super easy. Head to thebendshow.com and click on the Shows tab. There you can listen to every episode all the way back to episode 1. Podcasters, head to your favorite podcasting app and search The Bend. You'll find us. Be sure to follow and subscribe and never miss another episode again.
Hey guys and gals, this is John Arman with Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV. Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV travels the back roads to the backwaters in pursuit of the ultimate adventure in hunting and fishing. Join Team UOA every week for exciting action in the crosshairs of the outdoors. Catch Ultimate Outdoor Adventures TV on YouTube, Amazon Prime, and make sure to follow Team UOA on Facebook and Instagram to share in the ultimate outdoor adventure.
Welcome back to the Outdoors Radio Show, The Bend Show. I am your host, Rebecca Warner, a.k.a. Beck. First off, I got to say thank you, Tigger. You did a great job answering all those listener questions.
You're welcome.
And those of you listening right now for the first time, be sure to be sending in your questions anytime. We love hearing from you all. Okay, foodies, listen up. I got a new trend that I am totally going to try myself. I am a huge pickle fan. Where I'm from, you love ranch dressing and dill pickles of all varieties. So here's the latest pickle trend: dipping mini or petite dill pickles into warm chocolate, or if you have full-size kosher pickles, dipping those into the warm chocolate, then coating them with sea salt. I can't wait. I'm definitely going to have to try this. Or those of you that know me, don't be surprised if you're listening if I don't bring a batch of these as my appetizer to the 4th of July festivities. Next one: drinking alcohol and mosquitoes. Another trend across social media has been debunked. Drinking gin and tonic, we are sorry to report, will not ward off mosquitoes. I've heard of a lot of reasons to have a cocktail or two, but not this one until I was approached and then had to investigate. It turns out that drinking alcohol actually makes you slightly more attractive to those biting mosquitoes. It is advised the best thing one can do is buy a true repellent. Personally, after trying many things, Tigger and I, for our household, have weighed the pros and cons of tick-related diseases, such as Lyme disease, one that is often overlooked by the medical world, and we stockpile insect repellents that contain DEET. We know that some of you listening will not agree, and that is okay. It has just been our family's decision to go after deep woods products that contain preferably 40% DEET. Regardless your choice, this year, be sure to not be drinking that gin and tonic in hopes of warding off the biters, and do plan ahead with some sort of repellent. This has been quite a show, folks, so I'm going to call it wrapped, all right? Thank you to my producer, sound engineer, co-host, Jeff Tigger Earhart, and thank you to our guests for jumping on to answer your questions, Cowboy Chef Kent Rollins, and be sure to grab his latest cookbook, Comfort Food The Cowboy Way, available on Amazon or KentRollins.com, and be sure to catch him weekly on his YouTube channel. You know, we have got to get it on the books, Tigger. A cook-off between you and Kent Rollins. Yes, we have got to make this happen. Also, thank you to fishing expert, guide, and professional angler Johnnie Candle. We're so happy to have you as part of our crew. We're planning a guided trip with Johnny this fall, and you know what? Neither of us can't wait for it to get here. Lastly, thank you to up-and-coming taxidermist Jake Faehnrich, owner of JB's Wildlife Design. From North American to exotic wildlife, his work is incredible. And remember, folks, to keep sending in those questions as well, as we sure do enjoy hearing how all parts of the country are doing. So we invite you to call or text in your area's field reports and keep sending in those listener questions. That number again is 305-900-BEND. Again, 305-900-2363. Or you can hit us with an email, bendradioshow@gmail.com. Or also, of course, always tag us on Facebook or any other social media at The Bend Show. We love hearing and seeing your life on or off the trail. And while you're programming that phone number into your phone, remember, we are accepting your calls and texts right now for the chance to win a pair of tickets to the upcoming Chancey Williams concert, June 30th, to kick off the 144th Mandan Rodeo Days, presented by Dakota Community Bank and Trust in Mandan, North Dakota. If the cards fall right, we might even be able to find you a pair of tickets, too, for one of the 3 nights of PRCA rodeo action. Call, text now, 305-900-2363, and let us know that you love The Bend Show, along with your contact info. The winner will be announced next week on the show. If you missed part of this episode or you want to hear past shows, you can find them all on the website, thebendshow.com. And be sure to subscribe on your favorite podcasting app, as well as be tuned into our YouTube channel. Looking to change things up at your next event, conference, or awards banquet? Have us, Tigger and Beck, entertain your crowd. We are PRCA Pro Rodeo card holders, where Tigger is a pro rodeo announcer, and we are both PRCA music directors. From MCs to event headliners, public speakers, to even acting as a host couple, let us make your gathering extra special. From ranching, cattle, hunting, fishing, camping, and rodeo, plus so much more, including, did you know that Tigger is also an auctioneer? Try spicing up your upcoming fishing tournament. How about have us, Tigger and Beck, auction off a fishing Calcutta to add to the excitement? Regardless the crowd, we have the stories to share with the laughs to be had. Thank you to our partners, Ditali Outdoors, the 144th Mandan Rodeo Days, About You Photography, Buckstorm, Little Rack Taxidermy, Mickey's Mustard, ToxicCalls.com, Wabalo Creek Outfitters, Atlas Tracks, RFD TV, The Cowboy Channel, and Wrangler. Finally, a big thanks to all of you listeners out there that came along. And whether you're coming or going today, stay with us as we ranch it up. And remember to keep up with me back all week long by following The Bend on Facebook and on Instagram at The Bend Show. This is Rebecca Warner. Catch Beck if you can next week on The Bend.